Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for this momentous occasion. However, we will properly begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As you all know, we have assembled today for one order of business and one order of business only. I think the surprise is officially out as I saw people watch us escorted in. So again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Excuse me. We, as I think you all know, we've been conducting our superintendent search for the last 3 months, and we are pleased to acknowledge that we've gone through a wonderful, rigorous process. I think it's important that the community know that we used as our barometer throughout the entire process all of the public comments that many of you, probably all of you, participated in as a measurement tool for how we chose and moved forward with choosing the next superintendent of Wake County Public Schools. I remain humbled for this position at this time, and most importantly, grateful and gracious for all of the work and all of the input that you've all provided to us as a board as we went through a process that we are humbled and excited to move forward in Wake County Public Schools. Without further ado, I will now entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that the board consider approving the appointment and contract for a superintendent to Ms. Kathy Moore.
Second.
Second, before we get going.
Now to carry out the order of business, we do have to officially have this on the record, right, Ms. Allen? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please note by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. We have now approved you, Kathy Moore, as our superintendent of Wake County Public Schools. We will now move into the next portion of this momentous occasion, and that is the swearing-in ceremony. However, before we do that, I'd like to give the opportunity to each board member to welcome you into this new position. I will begin on this end.
We're glad to have you, and we're well supportive of having a current employee take the position.
Ms. Moore, I've long admired your integrity, your intelligence, and your dedication at putting children first. And that is sometimes hard to do when there's so many adults in the room. So I look forward to us working together as a board of 10, the 9 of us, as well as our superintendent, as well as all of your leadership team throughout Wake County. You know the quality of the staff that you have in this district. And you are uniquely qualified to lead this system. So congratulations.
Kath, I wasn't prepared for this, so I don't have my Grammy speech. But as a senior member of this board, this has been a long time coming. I have admired your work both close up and afar, and we know the ups and downs and valleys and peaks that we have gone through over the last almost 9 years that I've been on the board. And so I am excited, thrilled, and both proud to be part of this board and this leadership team that is here to appoint and elect the first female superintendent of the Wake County Public School System. So it gives me great honor to cast this vote, and I look forward to working with you alongside you. Not only the first female, but the first of Hispanic heritage as well. So we are certainly proud of that. Look forward to your leadership.
To echo my colleagues, everything they said, it is with pride that I cast this vote this evening. Kathy, I've enjoyed working with you over these several years, as Mr. Sutton noted, through thick and thin. We've been through a lot. I valued your willing to take the front row and the quiet listening back row. And I believe you bring those leadership skills with integrity, with depth, with high intelligence, and a willingness for very hard work. I look forward to working with you in the years to come. I think the school system is in line with great things as we work together as a team. So glad to have you in this new position.
Mr. Fletcher.
When I came back on the board in 2013, I met Kathy in her deputy role. And if you look in our budget book and you look at the span of control, the span of responsibility that Kathy has had, I'm putting this plug in for your next organizational chart. It's going to take 3 people to do what she's been doing. And they are necessary positions that we need to figure out how we're going to make available to you. The word I haven't heard yet, I haven't heard passion, I don't think. And I haven't heard heart. And I know she's had to make some tough decisions in her role. She's had different interactions with many of you in the room about allocations, and I've got 20 more students than I thought I was going to have, and I need another position, and then there's a series of questions and answers and demands. She's done that because that's what she had to do to be the leader in our community and in our schools. And so with your heart and passion for teaching and learning, thank you. Look forward to working with you.
Ms. Cash.
Kathy, the interviews were tough. I saw a side of you that I loved during the interviews, and the passion and the heart that you felt for the school system brought tears to my eyes like it did to you during our interviews. And we did not make it easy for any of our people that were interviewing. So the first time I was on the board, I knew you more as a principal, and, you know, I've spoken to a lot of people that worked for you, and they loved every minute of that time that you were in the school. So you have a great team, and I know you know that, and we talked a lot about that. So I'm excited, so excited to be a board member that has selected you as our leader.
Kathy, we haven't known each other that long. I am, one of the things that impresses me so much about you and your leadership is no matter what, the consideration you give for each decision you make. And you can tell in our conversations, the first thing that gets considered is how does this impact our students and how will this impact our teachers? And that is so important. And you have so much that you are willing to give and that you have gotten into this school system. And so I will just end with my wish for you, and je vous souhaite beaucoup de joie.
Kathy Moore, I can't be serious. So, I have for you, this is important, very important, because your job is so intense and there is so much responsibility, you need a survival kit. So I've prepared one for you today, okay? I also think it would be a real crime if the board required you to buy your own office supplies, as many of our teachers do. So I have for you, whoa, I'm killing the mic. I have for you chewing gum. It's going to help you stick to it. I have crayons for you so that you can color every day bright and cheerful. I have for you an eraser to remind you that everyone makes mistakes. I have for you paper clips, big ones, because this is going to help you hold it all together. I have for you rubber bands, because we want you to always remember to be flexible. And I have for you tissues, because this is going to wipe away your tears and the tears of those that you lead. We also have for you some glue sticks, because this is what you're going to need to bond your team together. We have push pins for you, okay? This is to remind you to push through all of the battles and all of the challenges. And of course, one of my favorites, chocolate. It's just for one of those days. And then a flashlight to remind you that there is light in every corner of Wake County Public Schools. You, Kathy Moore, matter to every student, every teacher assistant, every school support person, every principal, everyone on the leadership team, every bus driver, every custodian, every cafeteria worker, every maintenance worker, every central office employee, and every board member. You matter, Kathy Moore, every day. Welcome.
As a good Southerner, I will segue with, you should always end with a preacher or a teacher. So we so eloquently ended with our consummate teacher / principal and now board member. Thank you all for enduring our board members' comments. As you've heard each of us speak, that this has been a process and not an easy process, not for board members, but most importantly, not for you, Ms. Moore, who've undergone 3 rounds of interviews. So it is important to me that every board member's voice is heard and that you hear from each board member regarding the process, how we feel about our 10th superintendent, our first female superintendent, and our first superintendent of Hispanic heritage. And as you all can imagine, you all know my daytime job, I spend my time talking about equity, especially for women, that my heart is absolutely full to be able to sit at this table and speak into this mic as we move into your swearing-in ceremony for our first female superintendent. And I'm beyond, I don't even have words, and you all know that's hard. I always have words. But I am extremely excited about what's before us, and I am extremely glad that you chose your first team wisely, and that's who's swearing you in. And I use that to segue into Judge Crooms as you come forward. So I can tell you a lot about Judge Crooms. He rides a motorcycle. He was appointed as a judge in 1991. He's a former sheriff's deputy. He ran a wonderful countywide campaign, and he is returned to his robe. And we are glad that you were here. But I think it's important that the audience know that when I said to Kathy, who's going to swear you in, she said, I get to choose choose? And I said, of course you do. This whole day is your choice. Because it's the one time that every time you ask your board chair for something, it's probably going to be a yes. Because like you as superintendent, there's lots of yeses, but there are also some no's. And so she said, I want to choose someone that I know, someone that I work alongside to be the person to swear me in today. And the irony of this is I texted Judge Krum and said, please hold this date. And you didn't initially ask me why. And I said, it's an important announcement. However, I would like to note on Monday when you were sitting in a meeting next to Ms. Moore, you texted me and said, can you please tell me who the superintendent is? And I said, I think you'll have to wait until May 23rd. And so thank you for respecting that and not pushing the envelope, because you could have kept texting me, but I appreciate that. And I also think that that story is important in introducing you because it speaks to the fact that you were able to say, I've worked alongside of Kathy Moore, and I'm curious if you are deciding to choose a superintendent that leads Wake County Public School that has been in the thick of it alongside you as we look at how we work for, support our young people in Wake County. So it is without further ado, thank you from the bottom of my heart for agreeing to hold this date, not knowing completely why. So thank you. I'm trying to figure out if that's my microphone or not, so I keep stepping back, but I think it's because you all are wired. Well, I can't turn mine off yet because I do want to note that Kathy has been being joined for her swearing in by her husband, Tommy Moore, and you'll introduce your family at the end when you give your remarks.
Okay.
Judge Crooms.
All right. Now, if you repeat after me the oath, okay, because you heard all these accolades, now it's time for you to make a promise and take this oath. All right? If you repeat after me, I, your name,
I, Kathy Moore,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and maintain
the
Constitution
and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws
of
North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties
of my office
as
Superintendent of the Wake County Public School System. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I will make my remarks brief. On behalf of Wake County Board of Education, and personally from me, I am thrilled to welcome you as the 10th superintendent of this great district, Wake County Public Schools. It does not go unnoticed that you have served nearly every position from teacher to every form of leadership before you arrived here. And I think the word that I've been using, and you've heard me, indeed, you should relish this moment. It is absolutely the pinnacle of your career, and you deserve to celebrate it. And I think that's important for me to say to you because we've said this oftentimes, we're very similar. You want to go to work. And I'm asking you to take this afternoon to relish in the moment that each and every one of us is here to celebrate you and your accomplishment. She has a long day tomorrow because we have scheduled her pretty tight starting at 5 a.m. in the morning. But I want you to celebrate today. And I want to publicly say to the community that we absolutely heard you. And when I say we've started to schedule her at 5 a.m. in the morning, it is because we absolutely are intentionally opening our arms to you, our public, our community, and saying that this is our school district and that our superintendent, Kathy Moore, we are making her open and available, at least over the next 60 to 90 days, to really get to know each in every one of the community groups that partner with us, the people that step out on a limb to support Wake County Public Schools, for the organizations that are supporting us as we go through our budget, preparing for a bond. There are a number of people that you are going to touch here moving forward. And I know that you are steeped and supported in this room by the people that you've called colleagues and peers for a very long time. As I look out and see the principals, the people that have worked for you, with you, alongside of you, that this is your moment, and it's okay. We are socialized as women to pretend that we can't enjoy when people are celebrating us. So I am saying we are celebrating you. Okay. And with 30 years comes deep understanding of the importance of teaching and learning, the importance of putting students first, the importance of asking the hard questions and giving sometimes the hard answer with love and with the message that maybe not today, but a no or a denial isn't for always, but there are reasons that you will have to say no. And you've been in a place where you've had to do that for several years under several other leaders, but this time, you are indeed the leader. There is only one person that sits in that corner office in that chair, and that is now you. And we know that you will not take this lightly, because you don't take anything lightly. I am wishing sleep for you on the hours that we do not have you scheduled. But most importantly, I'm going to remind you that when you take leadership, that we often don't breathe, right? We hold our breath and we operate. And Kathy's survival kit, you will need it and use it. And remember that we are a group of 10. And you have all of us in partnership. And Jonathan, who will always be there to answer any questions, as you know. But indeed, we welcome you into the fold. And it is with great pleasure that I place this nameplate in as you join us as one of the 10. And now, Superintendent Moore.
So I'll start by saying that it's killing me that my back is to anybody, and I don't know where to go. So it's hard for me. I just say thank you again. It's hard for me to explain just how thankful I am to lead this district, because I know that it is one of the best school districts in America. I've been in Wake County for 30 years, and during that time, I know the district very well, and I know without a doubt that the strength of this district comes from a community that is passionate, intelligent, diverse, committed to students, and to employees who are high quality, dedicated, equally committed to the students that walk into our classrooms every day. I also know that the partnership that we have always forged between our community and our schools needs to remain vibrant and maybe even reinvigorated, because things are not going to get easier. They'll get more difficult, and we'll have more challenges, and we'll need to meet them together. And so I'm ready to get to work, and I'm ready to go out and listen a lot to what folks have to say, because I think that more than anything out of this office is an obligation to be the feet, the voice, the heart of 160,000 plus students, 20,000 employees, and the countless members of the community that have our back every day. I also know that there's a core belief that I hold very deeply that I think will probably sound familiar to you, that really guides my work and is a part of who I am and what I believe. Every student is uniquely capable and deserves to be challenged and engaged in relevant, rigorous, and meaningful learning each day. That's the first core belief from our strategic plan, and it is a core belief that I hold dearly and closely. I know that we are an awesome school district. We have awesome leadership, awesome teachers, awesome principals and administrators and staff at Central Services. We have a terrific board, and I think that we're ready to get to work, and we're ready to push forward with the initiatives that we've already started that we know are the right work for children and continue down that path. I do want to take just a moment to recognize some folks that are here today that are a part of molding who I am, and I owe a lot to them. I'm going to start with one of my first assistant principals and principals, Mr. Bobby Allen, who's here today. Thank you, Bobby. I also want to recognize a former student who crossed my path in the classroom many years ago at Enloe High School, and then crossed my path again when I hired him as a teacher and a coach at Sanderson High School, and who has left the district and gone on to do bigger and better things. He is what every child deserves and can be if we pay attention and do that work every day. Thank you, Lavelle Moten, for being here. I also want to thank a couple of community folks that are here that I invited, because I've served with them on their boards, and I know that they have a passion and heart and are hand in hand with us in the work that we do in the district. Ann Rollins from the Poe Health Center and Pam Dowdy from Smart Start. Thank you for being here. I also want to recognize my pastor and his wife, Charles Johnson and Lynn. You're a compass. You've known my children since they were babies. Thank you for being here. And then my family, I'll just sort of run through. My husband, Tommy, my daughters, Anna and Jenny. I've always said that I have a beautiful, wonderful family, and I can prove it because I have pictures. Thank you for allowing me and letting me, and for all of us being in this together. My grandson, Jackson, first grandson, whom y'all have no reason to know this, but was born on the same day of my first interview. Stress to the max. And my son-in-law, Jack, and my son-in-law, Ben. My sisters are here, Elizabeth and Essie, and my mother, who is 87 years old, and I'm just really thankful that she can be here today. And if if you'll indulge me for just a moment. Mami, quiero hablarle un momento para agradecerle todo el sacrificio y el amor y el tiempo que nos ha dedicado. La vida no ha sido fácil, pero sin embargo aquí estamos y le agradezco todo. Y espero verla pronto, después de hoy día. Nos vemos mucho. La quiero mucho, mami. Gracias. I'm going to sit. Thank you all. Love y'all. Yes. Okay. Love y'all. Thank you. Whew. Okay.
Superintendent Moore.
Just don't expect this every time.
Indeed, a special occasion. Indeed, a special occasion. So, like my wedding day, you never know when you plan something how it will turn out. But I do hope that this is a moment you will remember, because that's what was most important to me, is that you'd be able to mark this day in a most important and special way. And so I hope you feel the love that was put into this. And there is no way I could have done any of this without Melissa Allen and Tim Simmons. Technically speaking, I couldn't do any of this without Melissa Allen. However, she takes care of me every single day. But both Melissa and Tim, whom I don't see, held this secret tight to the chest so that we could execute this day for you on behalf of 160,000 students, 20,000 employees, and every community member who holds and loves Wake County Public School System near and dear to their heart. I welcome you to this seat. I look forward to sitting beside you for the rest of my tenure, and I look forward to all the great things that are to come for Wake County Public Schools. Thank you, Kathy Moore. So you get to sit down for the motion of adjournment. And before we adjourn, I'd like to give a few instructions. Mr. Russ Stevens is going to come forward so that he can efficiently usher us to the reception so that we can move about efficiently. And without further ado, I'll now entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please note by saying aye.
Aye.
The meeting is ended. Thank you.